So I push the car in the garage, as even in sunny California, it does rain sometimes. And I've got 5 questions that people have been asking me about. I figured I'd address them now. So, question number 1. What's the history in the car? Well, yes. Okay, so my parents owned this car since 1963. They're the second owners. My uncle worked at a Chevy dealership. He used to race up at Lime Rock Racetrack up in Connecticut. He found out about the car through somebody. My parents bought it at a dealership in Hartford, Connecticut called Haber Motors. My parents used this as their daily driver. So that would have been 63. I was born in 72. My brother was born in 71. I think they used it as their daily up until like probably 69, because they had a 69 Javelin SST. They also owned a 55 Chevy. They owned a 63 Thunderbird at that time. And this was just their sort of fun weekend car. When my brother and I were born, they went into the Honda market. They got a Honda Civic wagon, 2 of them. And then from there proceeded going on. This car has sat in their garage. Going up and down the driveway, the story was it was very expensive to insure, that it cost a lot of money, so they didn't want to put a lot of miles on it, nor take it on the road. Myself, as a child, I rode in it once, and I rode in the footwell. While my brother sat in the passenger seat, I sat in the footwell, and my mom drove us to the grocery store. I remember distinctively being on the floor. I've never driven it as an adult. We got to play with it, as a kid. My dad always used to yell at us, but we kids didn't listen. So, we were at the Dukes of Hazzard, driving around, jumping things, all that kind of stuff. So, that's the history of the car. It's been sitting in their garage since 1985, when it was last driven. My parents had life issues, but it didn't move after that until I towed it out on a trailer and brought it here to my house in California, where I've been going through it just to try to represent it accurately. I couldn't do that at my mom's house for time, space, and logistic reasons. It seems kind of silly to drag it halfway across the country when you're just going to sell it. Truth be told, yeah, it does sound crazy, but sometimes life doesn't give them choices and just have to go with them. So that's the history of it, and see if I can answer another question. All right, second question. Why don't I keep the car? Or why don't I restore it? Well, it's not my car. It's my parents' car. It's theirs. So when my mom came to visit me, she mentioned that she really wanted to get the car sold. The money could really be used for life events. I said I would act on behalf of selling it for her. She asked me if I wanted the car, and I said no. It's a very expensive thing, especially in its condition. In that sense, I would still have to pay for it. I wouldn't just get it for free. This is not just given to me. I have my own project car. This is a project that I decided I could not handle or take on financially and with time. And I know there's pros out there like, oh, it doesn't take that much, blah, blah. It's time and money. That's why I am not restoring this car. I've been saying it every video I make. It's not lying to keep. It's to sell. I have the tools, equipment, and a little bit of money to restore things and do things. That's what I'm doing to my other car. But financially, no. I gotta prep a car for my daughter who'll be driving in a few years, and my wife has to have her daily. I have to have my daily, and there's only so much time and money. So that's why I am not restoring or keeping this car, which will probably lead into the question of, but what about the family heritage? Well, yeah, it's my family's car. They've owned it. It's not like I drove in this car to my prom. It's not like the car I had in high school, the blown head gasket that I had to put a gallon of water to go to school and a gallon of water when I left school, and it just made a big smoke trail everywhere. But family heritage, yeah, it is a family car. It would be great to have, but it's not my jam. I've said it before. This is not the car of my era. Corvettes, honestly, my era is the 68 to 71 Corvette. I like that. These early C1s, it doesn't check any of the boxes for me. the fact that I'm sitting in one right now and I have access to it and I can do all this stuff is cool. It's really cool to be working on this and to see all the cool gauges and stuff like that. Harley Earl's design and inspiration and all these things. It's really cool to see. Open top, curved glass, no seat belts, top down, the steering wheel is bigger than life. This car has no power steering, no power brakes. It's a 3-speed manual. It's got a lot of cool stuff, but got to keep things in perspective. So yes, that's why I'm not keeping this car. Family Heritage, yeah, it is a family car. And we'll take on another question. All right, why didn't you try to get it running? Well, that was something that initially, when I was making a plan to get this car, I consulted with a couple people that I know, and part of it was like, well, what if I spent a week out there, tried to get it turned over, tried to get it running, and then I could just drive it up on the U-Haul ramp. And that quickly was like, well, what if I don't get it running? How much time and money and tools would I need to get it running? Again, my mom's garage was, it's one 2-prong outlet with one light bulb. Sure, I can get a generator and get lights. Sure, I could get power tools and compressors, but I was flying across country, not bringing my entire tool chest with me, not bringing my air tools, not bringing my welder, not bringing all that stuff. So realistically, I thought, okay, if I bring it at least to my home in California, I have all the tools, I have time, I have a bit more ways I could get it working. And so yes, first thing I did as soon as we dropped it off the trailer, showed it around, shot a couple videos, pulled the plugs, put marble mystery oil on the cylinders, let it sit, tried turning it over, wouldn't go, and then letting it sit, put some heat on the block, can't turn it over, going back, not supposed to go backwards, but back, forth, just to see if I could move it. I moved it a fraction, nothing monumental. There's no holes in the block. I think it was improperly stored. Meaning it did have the plugs in the cylinders, but it didn't have oil shot in the cylinders. So I'm sure there's rust inside the cylinder walls. Probably the rings are seized, but just rust, and it just needs to be pushed through. Initial thought was like, great, just pop the heads, take the intake off, get this thing going, try to get it running, and that opens up the next. It opens up the next line of, well, okay, now I got to get fuel in it. So I'm sure the fuel in the tank is pretty bad. I'm sure it's horrible. Hook up, just spray some carb cleaner in there, just see if you can get it running. Great. But to run it and drive it, you have to drop the tank, you have to put the fuel line in, new fuel pump. I am not the guy that just put a can next to it with a hose out of it, putting it to the fuel pump. Plenty of you guys in it, sure, that's awesome, it's great, you live your life, fantastic. That's not how I roll. So, that too. What about brakes? Oh yes, I would have to have brakes. I'm sure brake lines are terrible. There is pressure on the brake, no doubt. It can stop the car with the brake. I don't know how many times it's going to happen until it doesn't. If it's going to break blow a hose, who knows if the clutch is going to hold up? Who knows if it's going to seize up? I don't know if it's good. I don't know. Again, because I'm inheriting this project, as I say, it's not a mess. I'm inheriting this project. I don't know last when it was parked if the clutch was shuddering. I don't know if it was running rough or was making funny noises. I do remember it driving. It sounded like it always did, which was healthy. So I'm basing that as that the car was healthy when it was parked. It just wasn't properly stored, and it needs TLC to get it moving. It doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean the engine's bad. It doesn't mean it's blown up. It doesn't mean it's not serviceable. It's a 327 short block replaced in 1963, and that's all I can go with it. And I tried to get it running. The goal was, hey, if I could get it running, cool. That initial hurdle would be, okay, forget about time, because I have time. Money is money you put into it. You're easily talking, I would say, north of $6,000 to $8,000 to pull the motor, get it running, drop the tank, put a fuel line in, new fuel filter, all new brakes, all corners, master cylinder, all that stuff, just to get it to run and sell it to who's basically going to say, hey, I'm going to replace all the brakes, pull the motor out, put an LS in, put a whole new chassis underneath it, and it's a waste of money and time. I'd rather the person who buy this car do what they want to do to the car. Do a full restoration, fantastic. Do a full restoration. You want to do a Restomod? Cool. Do a Restomod. EV swap? Do it, man. It's all good. I just didn't want to invest the time and money to something that is basically just going to be thrown away. I don't like wasting resources. I don't like wasting time. No matter how rich or poor you are in the world, time waits for nobody. So let's get to the next question. There's a whole bunch of parts that come with this car. The door skins, the washer vacuum or washer pump, the vacuum pump or the vacuum canister, the alternator, the door handles, carburetor tag. There's a jack stands spare tire, which leads to my next question. You should keep it. You'll never get the chance to own another one. And yeah, it's probably true. I probably will never get a car like this. But that's okay. I'm fine. It's not my jam. And I've said that several hundred times. The selling of this car is going to help my family, and that's just the end all be all. That's what it is. Chances of owning ones, you never know what life throws at you, and sometimes people's tastes change because of how expensive things are. I know lots of people that would love a '69 Camaro SS, and because they're so out of reach, they now like, hey, you know what? I want to get into trucks. I want to get into second gen, third gen Camaros, because they just price changes their taste. As far for me, yeah. This is as much as I spent more time with this car in the last 3 months than I have in my entire life, and that's fine. It checks a box for me. But yeah, that's me. Why that is. And if I did own this car, so if someone said, "Hey, keep this car," what would I do with it? I'll tell you what I would do. I wouldn't touch anything on the outside of this car. I would tighten up the chrome here and there. I would make sure everything's operational mechanically, electrically. I would pull the motor. I would refresh it. I'd drop it back in here. I would replace all the electrical. I would do all the mechanical brakes. There's no AC in this car. You got to top. I would drive it as is. I wouldn't change a thing. I leave it exactly like it is, because to do the body work on this car would be an expense, and then you wouldn't want to drive it and park it in a parking lot. I wouldn't touch a thing. I would just leave it. It's a Survivor. I would tell people the story of the car. I would tell them the story about paint. I would tell them this was my parents' car. It's just like this. I would do that, and that would be my life. I'd be driving around as that guy, telling the story about their parents' car, except that's not the story I want. I don't want that story. It's not me. Not my brother either. So that's why we're selling the car. But yes, I have seen EV swaps on these cars. I have seen LS swaps on these cars. I was just at SEMA this year. They had several people with Cerakoting bumpers who looked really cool, matching body colors. Some people did the chrome. Some people hate the 58 year with the fake louvers. Some people dig it. Some people only like single headlight, not quad headlight. It is what it is, man. Everyone has their own taste. It's still a cool car. But again, keeping this car for me would only be a story of me driving around telling people the story. And maybe part of you guys are already like, dude, shut up. We don't want to hear the story. Just show us, light something on fire, blow something up, man. That's what the internet's about. Show some cool. That's not my style. So, yeah, that's it. Although, I can tell you, the curves on this car are something that's amazing. The design team at the time really put a lot of, it's aerodynamic. It'd be astronomically crazy today to think about building a car with so many curves and so many shapes and so many different pieces. But yeah, I mean, it is a gorgeous car, without a doubt. It's got cool things to it. Whether you dig it or not, that's up to you. But yeah, I would drive it with this. I wouldn't change it, because they're only original once. So the next owner, I hope you do something really cool with this. This is it. So it's getting ready to be sold. News will come soon on that, because we're just filling out the paperwork and getting that all taken care of. And as you see, it's fitting in my garage. I've got stuff everywhere based on working on the car and life events that's happening around the house. It is now almost New Year's. I really have enjoyed working on this. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this. Going to be working on some new projects coming in the new year once this is out, because I have my Mustang project car that I'm not trying to make a YouTube series about just me. My friends, we're into drifting, we're into working on our cars. We've got all different types of cars. We got Mustangs, we've got BMWs, we have Subarus, we have Toyotas. So we're a bunch of car nerds doing car things. So yeah, things that'll be happening on my Mustang. We'll be doing work on my wife's Ford Flex. We'll be doing some work on my buddy's Subaru drift car. Maybe I can convince my buddy Mike to tow his BMW out from the middle of the country and drag it out here to California. Perhaps we can find more space for more content just to show you something different, man. There's so much cool stuff out there. And the next video you'll see will probably be this car leaving for its new owner. So if they allow me to shoot something and post it, I will. If they want to be private, I will respect their privacy. So thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time.